Here's what most teachers don't realize. Your classroom layout isn't just about furniture placement. It's an invisible curriculum that's either supporting or sabotaging learning every single day. Today, I'm sharing how to transform your classroom into a learning powerhouse using 3 strategic pillars that can boost your student progress. I will cover how to create traffic flow like a well functioning restaurant, design collaborative spaces that reconfigure in 20 seconds, and build accessibility that works for every learner. If you're tired of constantly managing classroom chaos, instead of focusing on teaching, this episode is your roadmap to a space that finally works for you, not against you. Let's begin designing together. This is Schoolutions Teaching Strategies, the podcast that extends education beyond the classroom. A show that isn't just theory, but practical, try-it-tomorrow approaches for educators and caregivers to ensure every student finds their spark and receives the support they need to thrive. Welcome back to Schoolutions Teaching Strategy Summer Series. This is the podcast that helps you make the most of your break to create incredible learning spaces. Today is the last episode in our summer series. I'm your host, Olivia Wall, and we will dive into one of the most impactful changes you can make over the summer, redesigning your classroom layout for maximum learning potential. Whether you're a first-year teacher setting up your very first classroom or a veteran educator ready for a fresh perspective, the next 10 minutes will give you practical, research-backed strategies to transform your space into a learning powerhouse. Let's get started. Picture this. It's the 3rd week of September and you're constantly saying, please don't block the doorway, or can everyone in the back see the board? Today, I am offering you 3 pillars of effective classroom design. Pillar 1, traffic flow. This is your classroom's circulatory system. Think of your classroom like a busy restaurant. Even the best food won't matter if customers can't navigate the space efficiently. Your classroom needs clear pathways that allow movement without disruption. First, I create what I call a highway system. You need at least one main pathway that runs from the entrance to the teacher's area, with secondary paths branching off to different zones. These pathways should be at least 36 inches wide if possible. That's about 3 feet, or the width of a standard wheelchair. Second, avoid dead ends. Every seating area should have at least 2 exit routes. This isn't just for emergency safety, it also prevents the awkward shuffle when students need to leave their seats. Third, position high traffic areas away from quiet work zones. Your pencil sharpener, supply station, and turn-in bins should be accessible without students walking through the main instruction area. Here's a quick summer action step. Walk through your empty classroom following different student pathways. Can you move freely without bumping into furniture or squeezing through tight spaces? If not, it's rearrangement time. Pillar 2, collaborative spaces. Building community through design. Today's learning needs to be social, collaborative, and interactive. Your classroom layout should reflect this reality, while still maintaining flexibility for individual work. Consider creating flexible collaborative zones. What I mean by that is, start with your furniture choices. Instead of heavy, immovable desks, consider lightweight tables that can be quickly reconfigured. If you're stuck with traditional desks, arrange them in pods of 4 to 6 rather than rows. Design multiple collaboration areas for different group sizes. You'll want space for pairs, small groups of 4 to 6, and larger groups of 8 or more. This might include a cozy reading corner with floor cushions, a standing collaboration table, or simply open floor space with clipboards for flexible seating. Don't forget about sightlines either. In any collaborative arrangement, students should be able to see both their group members and the main instruction area without major head-turning acrobatics. Here's a 20-second rule. Any group formation should be achievable in 20 seconds or less. If it takes longer, you'll lose precious learning time to furniture shuffling. And here's pillar 3, accessibility. The design needs to be for every learner. Universal design for learning isn't just good pedagogy, it's smart space planning. When you design for accessibility from the start, you create a more functional space for everyone. Here are some physical accessibility essentials in my book. Ensure wheelchair access throughout your classroom. That 36 pathway width I mentioned earlier, it's not just nice to have, it's essential for students using mobility devices. Consider height variations. Some students work better standing, others sitting on the floor, and others at traditional desk height. Build in these options from day one. Think about sensory needs too. Create calm down spaces away from high stimulation areas. Ensure good lighting throughout the room, and minimize visual clutter in key instruction zones. We also need to consider learning accessibility. I suggest positioning your main instruction area so every seat has a clear view. Avoid placing students with their backs to the board or at extreme angles. Create quiet zones for students who need reduced distractions and active zones for those who need movement breaks. Ensure your technology is accessible from multiple points in the room, not just at the front. Let's put it all together now. Here's your summer layout strategy. First, focus on assessment and planning. Map your current space and identify pain points from last year. Where did bottlenecks occur? Which areas felt cramped or unused? Second, the big move. Start with your large furniture pieces. I would position your main instruction area first and then work outward, creating your traffic highways. Third, zone creation. Establish your different learning zones: individual work, collaboration, presentation, and calm down areas. And fourth, fine-tuning. Add the details, supply stations, technology placement, and visual elements that support your layout rather than cluttering it. Before I wrap up, here are 3 other tools to ensure your layout works from day one. Try the traffic light test. On your first day, give students colored cards: red for areas that feel crowded, yellow for okay, and green for comfortable. This gives you immediate feedback for quick adjustments. You could also try the flexibility challenge. By October, try rearranging your space for a specific lesson. If it's difficult or takes too long, consider more flexible furniture options for next year. And you could also try the student voice survey. Mid-year, ask students about their favorite and least favorite spaces in the room. Their insights often reveal blind spots in your design. Remember, the perfect classroom layout doesn't exist, but the perfect layout for your students and your teaching style absolutely does. Try these principles as your guide, but don't be afraid to experiment and adjust throughout the year. Your classroom layout is one of the most powerful tools in your teaching toolkit. It can promote collaboration or isolation, encourage movement or restrict it, include all learners or inadvertently exclude some. This summer, you have the gift of time to get it right. Here's your next step. Take 15 minutes this week to sketch your ideal classroom layout. Don't worry about perfection, just capture your vision. Then, make one small change toward that vision. Sometimes the smallest shifts create the biggest transformations. That's a wrap on today's episode of Schoolutions Teaching Strategy Summer Series. It's also the last episode in this series. Thank you for going on this journey with me all summer long, and stay tuned for some season 5 teasers coming your way. I cannot wait to have you join me with a phenomenal lineup of guests speaking to topics that we care about most as educators. Remember, every teacher was once a beginner, and every amazing classroom started with an empty room and a vision. You've got this. Until next time, keep transforming. Schoolutions Teaching Strategies is created, produced, and edited by me, Olivia Wall. Thank you to my older son, Benjamin, who created the music playing in the background. You can follow and listen to Schoolutions wherever you get your podcasts or subscribe to never miss an episode and watch on YouTube. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email at schoolutionspodcast@gmail.com. Let me know which of the summer series episodes was the most inspiring and helpful to you to get ready to go for September. And that's a wrap on my summer series. But don't worry, Season 5 of the Schoolutions Teaching Strategies podcast is launching soon on September 1st with fresh expert interviews, practical classroom strategies, and real-world solutions for today's educators. Make sure you're following Schoolutions wherever you listen to your podcasts or subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the actionable teaching tips coming your way this fall. Until then, keep innovating in your classroom. Take care.